He powered the entire modern world. Your lights, your phone charger, your refrigerator, all of it runs because of him. And yet this man died completely alone, in a single hotel room, surviving on warm milk and crackers, feeding pigeons outside his window. Now most people hear that and think, what a tragedy. But what if I told you that the way Nikola Tesla thought about money, success, and purpose was not a weakness? What if it was actually the most radical, most deliberate mindset philosophy of his entire era? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you are going to see success and failure completely differently. Welcome back to Rich Principle, the channel where we don't just study what successful people did, we study how they thought. If this is your first time here, make sure you hit subscribe, because every week we break down the mental frameworks of history's most extraordinary minds. Today, we're going inside the mind of Nikola Tesla, not the inventor, not the historical figure, the thinker. The man who made a conscious, deliberate choice to operate by a completely different set of principles than everyone around him, and whose philosophy is arguably more relevant to the 21st century than it has ever been. Nikola Tesla was born in 1856 in what is now Croatia. He arrived in America in 1884 with 4 cents in his pocket. By the 1890s, he was the most celebrated inventor in the world, wealthier, more connected, and more admired than almost anyone in his field. He held over 300 patents. He pioneered alternating current electricity, the system that powers every home on Earth. He predicted wireless communication, designed early versions of remote controls, experimented with X-ray technology, and envisioned something remarkably close to what we now call the Internet. This was in the early 1900s. Think about that. He saw the future, clearly, decades ahead of everyone else. And here is where it gets interesting. In an era when men like Edison, Carnegie, and Rockefeller were building empires, Tesla made a choice that baffled everyone around him. He chose purpose over profit, not as a motto, but as an operating system. When his business partner, George Westinghouse, came to him in financial ruin, Tesla did something extraordinary. He tore up his royalty contract, just ripped it up. He walked away from what would be worth over $300 million in today's terms voluntarily. Why? Tesla himself said, and I'm paraphrasing here, "Money does not represent such a value as men have placed upon it." All his money was invested into experiments that enabled new discoveries. He wasn't being naive. He was being precise. Tesla had a specific hierarchy of values, and money simply ranked below contribution. He genuinely believed that the scientific advancement of humanity was worth more than personal accumulation. Now, and this is important, I'm not telling you to tear up your contracts, but here's the principle buried inside that decision. When your why is bigger than your bank account, you make decisions that compound over centuries. Tesla's work is still generating economic value today in every electric vehicle, every power grid, every wireless device on the planet. His contribution compounds. His net worth didn't. Ask yourself, are you building for the present or for the future? Here's something most people miss about Tesla. He didn't just have good ideas, he had a system for generating them. In a 1919 article, My Inventions, Tesla described his creative process. He wrote that he would fully design and test every invention in his mind before building it. He said, and this is a verified quote directly from that article, "In 20 years, there has not been a single exception to his mental designs working exactly as conceived." Think about what that means.
His primary laboratory was his own consciousness. Tesla's mother had an eidetic memory, the ability to recall images with near-perfect precision, and she passed this gift to her son. But Tesla didn't just inherit it, he trained it. He visualized obsessively. He could perform complex calculus in his head. He spoke 8 languages. He worked from 3 a.m. until 11 p.m. at university. Professors reportedly feared he would die from exhaustion. The principle here is not just think harder, it's this. The quality of your mental models determines the quality of your output. Tesla understood that the real competitive advantage wasn't access to a better lab, it was access to a better mind. He invested everything into upgrading his internal operating system. Now consider, most people spend money on external tools, software, equipment, courses, but almost zero time building the quality of their thinking. Tesla flipped that equation entirely.
Wait, here's where it gets really interesting. Because Tesla didn't just think differently, he valued differently. And that difference is what made him both unstoppable and, ultimately, financially vulnerable. Let me explain why. If you're finding this valuable, go ahead and hit that like button. It genuinely helps this channel grow. Tesla once said, and this is a verified quote from a 1927 interview with journalist Dragislav Petkovic, later cited in Tesla, Master of Lightning. Let the future tell the truth, and evaluate each one according to his work and accomplishments. The present is theirs. The future, for which I really worked, is mine. That is not the statement of a defeated man. That is a strategic declaration. Tesla consistently made decisions optimized for a 100-year time horizon in a world that operated on a 10-year or even 10-month one. His wireless transmission project, Wardenclyffe Tower, was designed to give free, universal wireless energy and communication to the entire world. Free for everyone. His investors pulled out because they couldn't figure out how to charge for it. They backed Marconi's radio instead because there was a clear, immediate business model. Tesla's vision was simply too long. Here is what that teaches us. The gap between vision and execution is often a gap in time horizon, not intelligence. Tesla's ideas weren't wrong. They were early. And in business, as in life, being right at the wrong time can look exactly like being wrong. The lesson for you? Calibrate your time horizon deliberately. Know whether you're building for this quarter or for this decade. Both are valid. But most people don't choose. They just drift. Tesla chose. He paid the price in the present and won in the future. Here is the final and most painful lesson from Tesla's story. He was robbed of credit multiple times. Marconi used 17 of Tesla's patents to send the world's first transatlantic radio signal and then received a Nobel Prize for it. The U.S. Patent Office, which had previously turned down Marconi for being too similar to Tesla's work, reversed its decision in 1904. No public reason was ever given. Tesla sued. The case dragged on for decades. It was only resolved in his favor after his death. And yet, Tesla's response was telling. He didn't become bitter toward science. He didn't abandon his principles. He said, again verified from a 1927 interview, "The present is theirs. The future is mine." This is the mindset of someone who separated recognition from contribution. Most of us conflate the two. We stop contributing when we don't get credit,
We slow down when we're not applauded. Tesla never did. The principle: build for contribution, not for applause. Recognition is temporary. Contribution compounds. So let's bring this together. Nikola Tesla's story is not a tragedy. It is a masterclass in operating by principles most people will never choose. He chose purpose over profit. He chose mental mastery over material accumulation. He chose a 100-year vision over a 10-year return. He chose contribution over recognition. Did those choices cost him? Yes, in very real, very painful ways. He died alone and in debt. But here's the uncomfortable truth that Rich Principle is built to explore. Tesla's 4 principles are exactly what the most impactful builders, thinkers, and innovators of the 21st century are now rediscovering. The difference is, today, you can apply those principles and build financial sustainability around them. Tesla didn't have that roadmap. You do. So here's the question I want to leave you with. Which one of Tesla's 4 principles are you most out of alignment with right now? And what would change if you corrected it? Think about that. Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one. Tesla's mother said he would be a child of light. She was right, just not in the way anyone expected. His light didn't illuminate his own life. It illuminated the world. Now that's a principle worth studying. This is Rich Principle. See you in the next one.